Hey everybody, welcome to John Wayne Lied to You, the storytelling podcast featuring me, John Wayne, wherein I tell stories of the many adventures, mishaps, missteps, misguided missiles, and Mystical the Rapper that have come together to make up my life. And I am here to share those stories with you. Now, I know that the title of this podcast is John Wayne Lied to You, but I want to let you know right up front that every story I tell on this show is 100% true and actually happened to me. You may listen to some of these and say, I'm sure that didn't happen to you, and you have every right to say that, but just know that you're wrong. Because I'm not here to tell tales out of class. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling my tales, and you know what? Sometimes I'm the one that wishes that they didn't happen more than anybody else could. But such is life, right? Which is exactly what I'm here to tell you about. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. As I said before, I write for a event show every month here in Houston called Grown Up Storytime that is put on by the wonderful, awesome, and excellent theater art collective called Bootown. And that's a show where people write creative nonfiction stories about things that have happened to them. You submit them, and then somebody else reads them. Usually it's a performer or someone from the arts or just somebody that wants to read. It's very cool. It's probably the coolest thing ever. And I've been very lucky to been writing for Grown Up Storytime for about 4 years now, with pretty strong regularity, and I got a bunch of these stories. So some of these stories that I'm going to tell are from those Grown Up Storytime stories that have been read in the past, but this is me giving them to you in my voice with some extra just juicy goss thrown in and all the nice little things that you have to cut out that end up on the cutting room floor, those little bits. You just can't, there's not enough room to put them in. You want to keep them, but you just can't. And you got to cut your babies loose sometimes. But I'm here to tell you that in these stories, you may have heard it on Grown Up Storytime sometime, but now you're getting all the babies off the floor. All those sweet, sweet babies that we had to cut out. We'll be back. Anyway, so check out bootown.org if you want to learn more about Grown Up Storytime and Neo Benchy and their shadow puppet shows and all the other great things they do. And just check them out in general because they're awesome and you should. Anyway, a little bit about me. I write primarily in the bizarro genre. I do have some creative nonfiction and horror stuff coming out later, but what's available now are my books Porn Star Retirement Plan, Chargeland, and Ant Poster. So you can check those out if you want to get a little bit more into the wilder side of the weirdness of fiction, or what it can be, actually. Man, sorry, clearing my throat. I took like a bong hit right before I hit record, so we're just winging a prayer in it right now. But I think we're doing a good job so far. Anyway, guys, so this week we have a story that I will call simply Caught. So you know how sometimes just in the middle of the day, for no apparent reason, you get struck with the urge to just masturbate furiously? And I'm not asking that like, oh, do you relate to me? Because I know you all do. It's rhetorical. We'll go ahead and say that this was one of those times on one of those days. I was on my way home from work. It was about a 30-minute drive from where I worked at the time. I think I was working at Starbucks. And so I worked like the early shift, and I got off at 1 or something. So I'm on the way home. And I still used to. Come on, who are you kidding? I get these things sometimes where I'm just driving, when I'm driving in my car for just driving, not, doing anything else but driving, and just just get like these raging boners, like super boner while I'm driving, and it's so fucking weird. But I like to call it the drive time erection, because I think that's appropriate. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. I want to say it doesn't happen as often as it used to, but maybe at this time in my life, there was just something popping off. I'm not quite sure. But on that drive home, I would often get these raging boners, right? Not my fault. I don't know. It's nature. So I was coming home around 1 o'clock in the afternoon with one of these drive time erections in full tilt. And my wife at the time, my wife, who I'm not married to anymore, worked like a regular job, like till 6 or something. So I had like the next like 5 hours to myself at the house. So let me tell you about the house that we lived in at the time, actually. Very cool house from the 40s. Pretty restored, nice, cool. But all that great stuff. But the best thing about this house was that in the backyard, there was another house. It was like a mother-in-law house or something like that. The realtor called it a casita, but I think that was just to, up the property value or something like that. But it was pretty much the raddest thing ever, because it was exactly like just a mini house. It had a bedroom area that I turned into like a hangout space, and all my records and stuff were in there, and my bongs. And I used to record a podcast years ago called Never Buy a Stripper a Drink, and we recorded in that room every week, and I had it all set up for recording, and the board and stuff. It was very, very cool. Kitchen that had like a stove, refrigerator, like cabinets and shit. Like, it was awesome. And then that kitchen opened up into like a big like living room area, right? So then I converted all of that space into, because it was all open, into practice space. So Letters to Voltron practice there, and we recorded stuff. It was an awesome space, man. But the crown jewel of this back house, or casita if you will, was that it had a full bathroom. Like, not some small shitty stand-up shower or some shit shoved in a corner. It was awesome. It was huge. It had like a vanity, mirror, the lights and shit. Full bathtub, full shower, toilet. That the way they built this bathroom, you had to like step up into it, and then you had to step up another step to sit on the toilet. It was literally like looking down from high upon your fucking minions down there. Like, it was a great feeling. Now, it is important to note that this bathroom was my bathroom. The regular house only had one bathroom. It was an older house, like I said. So it just became easier that way for me to keep all my shit out there, do my shit, shower and shaving. It was just my bathroom. But it was also my personal masturbation den. So I got home from work that day, like I said, and I was ready and intent on what I was there to do. I went into the regular house and took off all of my clothes, and I put on a pair of mesh basketball shorts. Then I grabbed my laptop, and I headed out back to the back house, or as I called it, the mansion. And my plan was to take a shower while I was back there, but that was secondary. I was going to get into a good old-fashioned pump and dump. That's right, everyone. I know that the breastfeeding women of always have been co-opting that term from us toilet masturbators, but we got to take it back, guys. We got to take it back. So I go in, I sit down on the toilet. and I open up my laptop and I start to organize everything. I start to get my plot my adventure, if you will. I'm opening up the different the windows of, I got to have the MILF window, and you got the lapping young ladies. You got to put that in there, and then you got to put the anyway, I digress. There was some windows open. I like to keep it interesting. Speaking of windows, this bathroom had a window in it, as most bathrooms do, but this window was larger than the average bathroom window and precariously placed. And I'll tell you why. You sit on this toilet, this high toilet, and the window behind you, if you're sitting down on the toilet, you can see from like below your shoulders up. Someone outside could see that much of you, because I always keep the window open. If you have the light on or whatever, people can see right in the fucking window. It's plain as day. So it was weird, but you know what? It's in the backyard. So it's, if you want to come watch the back of my head while I shit and jerk off, I guess that's your thing. At least that, I guess, was my thinking until I thought it was actually happening. I'm sitting there on the toilet. I've got my laptop. I've removed the shorts to give myself full access to, my real genitalia, and just moving around. You want to be able to stretch and move. You never know what's going to happen, and you just want to be prepared. And that's what I was doing. So I'm getting it going. I'm kind of romancing myself, working a little bit slow, and I hear over my head behind me the sound of someone rattling the gate, like they're trying to come through into the backyard. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I kind of look over my shoulder, and I wait to see if I hear it again, and there's nothing. So I just kind of like calm myself down. Let's just get right back into it. Let's just go. We had a good pace going, moving right along. All my plans are going according to plan, if you will. And then I hear it again, but louder. So this time I whip my head around and look over my shoulder, and I yell. But I try to make my voice sound like really low and gruff, so I sound intimidating and shit. And I'm like, "Hey, who's there? Don't come in here! Don't come in there!" And it stops, right? And I give it like the old standoff again. I'm trying to listen. I don't hear it. I'm like, man, am I imagining this? Is somebody really trying to come in the backyard? And then it's quite clear that someone's trying to come into the backyard, because it starts again, and they're rattling it severely and get the latch, I guess, was stuck. Get the latch to click, and I stand up and whirl around and yell, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here! Don't open here!" Some other gibberish, and the gate opens, and it's my lawn guy. And I'm standing in front of the window, completely naked, with a just proud American erection happening. And that's what I call my erection, the American. But I spell it with a K to be cool like that show. But enough about me. Actually, more. This story goes on. So then I kind of realized that that's what has happened, because I'm caught up in the moment, but our eyes locked. And when I saw the look on his face, that's when the severity of what was happening kind of hit me, or at least how severe it was to him. So I was like, we were like deer in the headlights, but the headlights weren't coming at either one of us. It was like we were trapped in a pea soup of a time fog, and neither of us could move topwise or backways. or slantwise, until he finally broke through and just yelled out, "I'm sorry, here to cut the grass," and slammed the gate. So then I'm there like, shit. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I mean, do I hide in here until he leaves? I mean, I can't do that. I have to go say something to him, right? I mean, this happened. We might as well talk about it. We're men. We all get the drive time erection or whatever other cute name you have for it, and you gotta heed the call. So I'm sure he would understand, and I would just apologize and say sorry. I just wanted to tell him that. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of in a way where I'm still at attention and ready to go. Full throb going on in my wiener. And the only clothes I had in there were the mesh basketball shorts. Nothing else. And I don't know if you've worn mesh basketball shorts before, but they don't offer a lot in the way of concealing anything or holding anything down. They're quite giving. And I threw those on, and sure enough, we've got like a nice, multicolored Lycra tent going on there, pitching it down there. And I think to myself, like, if I go out there like this, I kind of think this is almost worse, But I decide that I should just jump up and down, because that sounds like a way to get rid of your boner. So I jump up and down for about 45 seconds, and it finally goes like, limp dick Charlie enough for me to deem it acceptable and run out of the house. Ran through the backyard, went into the main house from the back door, went past a check that was left on the counter for me to give to him because he was coming that day. I snatched up the check, and I go outside, and he's in the front yard toiling over a weed eater or something. He was trying to get started or getting his shit together, and he hears me come in the house, and just kind of looks up and sees me and looks right back down. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. So I kind of stroll on up to him, and he doesn't look up as I approach, and I get up to him, and I'm just like, hey, man, what's up? I didn't know you were coming today. Yeah, I'm sorry about all that. And here's your check. He took the check from me, did not look up, kind of gave me like this half-hearted nod. And I was just like, all right, well, I've done my due diligence. And I go inside, walk back through the house. I walk back to the man cave. And I'm kind of there. I feel an emptiness. I feel like I tried to do the right thing, and maybe it just didn't land. But I wasn't, I made the effort, and that was what was important. It was a win. I needed to celebrate that win. And I thought, what better way to celebrate a moral victory than by finishing my masturbation session? So I closed the blinds, put on some smooth jazz, and I just gave it a good old-fashioned finishing, folks. And, I'm not going to sit here and say it was the best jerk I ever had, or, what a release, or, I'm dating my lawn guy now. But I will tell you, it was pretty solid. It ranked. It was good. It felt good to get there. But after that, I kind of wondered if maybe we might get a phone call that he wasn't going to come back and cut our lawn anymore type thing. But that didn't happen. He still showed up on the days that he was supposed to be there, that I double-checked to know he was coming. He still cut our lawn for the whole time we lived at that house, and always did a great job. But he never looked me in the eye or talked to me ever again. All right, there you go. Hey, I know we're all friends here, right? I mean, as a good friend of mine, Robbie C. would say, oh, wait, let me disguise his name. R. Calicate would say, we all masturbate in the shower. We're all friends. It's unifying. Anyway, that wasn't about shower masturbation, but, those stories are like a dime a dozen with me. So, anyway, thanks again for listening, you guys. That's our story for this week, Caught. You can check us out every week on Monday on the Mockingbird Network here in Houston, Texas. We are, of course, on iTunes and all that. Subscribe and get the show every Monday. It will also be on the John Wayne is Dead YouTube channel. So if you're a YouTube listener, if you prefer that as your podcast medium supplier, I don't know, whatever, it's on there. And it'll be there every Monday waiting for you, along with a lot of very cool videos that are coming where we'll be doing some cool shit with readings and talking about Bizarro books that are coming out or have come out. It's going to be cool. So check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to that as well. It's John Wayne is Dead, all one word. Or to make it really, really easy for you guys, if you just go to johnwayneisdead.com, all one word, everything that I do is on there. The links to the podcast, you can buy my books, like I said before, Porn Star Retirement Plan, Charge Land, and Ant Poster. Gotta say them. My contractual obligations are, met now. So, if you need to hear them again, you're going to have to rewind and listen. But anyway, you can get the books there. I've got some pretty cool enamel pins that are on there now, and of course the podcast, and then the band I play in, John Wayne is Dead, with Chris Jett. We're playing dipshit punk rock explosion face jam all the time, really. So all of our shows are on there too, so you should come check out a John Wayne is Dead show if you want to love yourself, I guess. But anyway, yeah, please go to johnwayneisdead.com and you'll get everything you need. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Wayne is Dead, all one word, and Facebook is my name, John Wayne Comunale. Thank you guys again, and we'll see you for another story next Monday. Bye.